I didn't know you were here. Yeah, lots of new developments to tell Dad about. This ride sure has been pretty hectic. And it all started with this fight right here. Aelio, Ritem, Kavaris, Stia. We fought dolls everywhere. Then we battled the dark falls Zephedo created. And even Zephedo himself. From there, we faced Vile and the Starless. And the only reason we've won all these fights is you. That's fair. We've all contributed. But we're still not done fighting. We need to prepare ourselves for whatever might come next. Oh, that reminds me. Rikul, Ruka, and the other recruits are official members of ARCS now. You should see how excited they are. They're all, we're gonna bring peace to Halpha. I, need to keep up the hard work myself. I am working with Dozer on ways to make ARCS a stronger organization all the way around. They also want me to take a look at the new training core. I'm busy. But I have to be if I want to keep up with you. You just watch, Dad. No matter what comes Halpha's way, I'll be here to protect it.
Hey there.
Oh. We were going over what happened when Vile launched his assault. The Starless appeared in force at the same time that Vile emerged from space-time.
We've never seen quite so many of them.
It was as if they were carpeting the entire planet. Fortunately, they didn't catch us unprepared.
We had been doing joint training exercises with ARCs from all over Alpha. And all that hard work paid off.
Everyone showed incredible resourcefulness when we needed it. We commanders didn't even need to give out detailed orders.
The two who really stood out in the thick of it were Aina and Manon.
Yeah, they were truly a sight to behold.
Oh, Aina was moving around all over the place, leading her trainees into battle. Manon identified weak spots in our battle line and prevented it from being overrun. I didn't need to worry about anything other than defending Central City. We really owe those two.
And then it sounds like you better not slack. I suspect that you three will shoulder the entire ARC's organization. But, as I've said, we can't simply rely on you three for everything. ARCs won't work unless every defender is capable at what they do. As long as we're at war.
We're currently putting together a framework for that. Based on our recent results, we know that the different regions can coordinate very well.
All we need to do is keep building on that coordination. We need to learn each other's tactics and figure out how best to put them to use. We also have the LVII, hard at work developing new equipment. And of course, we're training new ARC's defenders.
We've asked Dinah to take care of our second incoming class of recruits. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll have an army of defenders all as strong as you.
You just watch then. It's not just Aina and Manon. Everyone is looking to you as their inspiration to keep growing. I'd like you to continue being the one who gives us hope. We're counting on you, Guardian.
Oh, you're here. I guess you could say that. We were just talking about our current capabilities in Stia.
There have been no big changes to our Stia force numbers for a while. But now, with so many coming in from other regions, we need to review our situation.
Most of them are coming from Oryo. We can thank Dozer and Aina for that. With their new trainees, we're finally running more than a skeleton crew. It's a far cry from back when we were barely scraping by.
It's only a handful, but we also have some troops joining us from Retem. They're also being bolstered by new members from Oryo. Which, I suppose, means Oryo's helping us on two fronts.
A lot of things are changing around here. People and material are moving around like never before. Things like regional allegiance may become a thing of the past. We're just talking about Stia at first, but it might be time to start looking at the bigger picture. Troops were moving around without regard for borders, even during our fight with the Starless. Although there were a few tactical issues, I thought the regions coordinated very well.
We're currently reviewing how we organize our forces based on that experience.
On that note, this means I've been traveling out of Stia more often. It also means more desk work, and less time out in the field with a weapon. Can't say I'm a fan of admin work.
May I remind you, it's highly unusual for a unit commander to always lead from the front. It would help if you could back me up on this. You sound just like him.
You get what Arx is all about.
Ah, please.
Anyway, it's a lot better now than back when we were barely hanging on. We need to keep up the momentum. No, we need to increase it even. Which is why we still need your help. I'd like to pick your brain about some things. And you can pick mine too if you want. We're all counting on you.
Emergency announcement. We are preparing for a large-scale operation in the Alio region. All ARCS defenders, please prepare for deployment.
Just out for a little walk. Vilma's always saying that alone time is important. Come to think of it, I don't think we've ever spoken to each other alone. Do you, have some time to talk right now? Until recently, we simply acted according to Zephedo's instructions. As a member of Resurgent ARCS, this reminds me of the day Manon went AWOL from her mission and came to LVII. I did my best to think of a way to get Manon on track that wouldn't affect the experiment. But I realized that I couldn't do anything about it on my own. So I asked you three for help. It never even occurred to me that my action would result in what it eventually did. Back then, we were all basically emotionless robots, without a single original thought among us. But the people that we met here were something entirely different from that. Everyone here had distinct personalities and were full of all kinds of ideas. And even when they had conflicts, they worked together to resolve them. Thoughts are complex things, and it's difficult to predict where they'll lead. While I was monitoring Manon from Lucille, I could sense that something in her was changing. I couldn't comprehend what that change represented at the time. But since I've been here, I feel like I might finally be able to understand it. There are thousands of different ways to react to a single event. Different people can have different feelings about the exact same thing. Those reactions lead to new ideas and ways of doing things, and those things to even more new things. In time, we learned that that's what life was. Well, we're all different. But we've been changing since coming into contact with all of you. At the moment, I would say that the single largest influence on us is Ilmat. He is a very interesting person. His emotions surrounding research are very straightforward. He simply follows his interests to see where they'll lead. Sometimes his methodology is a little loose, but in that sense, I suppose he's similar to Zephedo. But aside from that, I still have a difficult time figuring him out. Sometimes he'll suddenly jump up and yell while he's eating, then he'll still be sitting there researching something when he's already late for a meeting with his brothers. But I think that unpredictability is what makes him so fascinating. I'd still like to get to know you, Manon, and Aina a little bit better too. I'm hoping I can continue to grow and someday contribute something myself. Although I still have no idea what that something might end up being. I will do my best. Though I may prove something of a bother along the way. I hope you'll continue to support me.
Emergency announcement. We are preparing for a large-scale operation in the Alio region. All ARX defenders, please prepare for deployment.
Why are you here?
We came to see Hibana.
This is where she lost her life.
The war's end still isn't in sight yet. But now, with Vile gone, it felt like a good place in the story to give her a little update. Do you have some time to join us?
Our immaturity caused Hibana's death. We just pushed our own positions without even trying to compromise. I thought everything could be solved simply through brute force and aggression.
And I was overly cautious, demanding perfection before I took action.
But it was Hibana who always stood right between us and mediated. She'd let us argue our cases and then give her honest opinion. And it was always something that we could both agree with.
True. Somehow, what she had to say always seemed to make sense. Hibana was the balance in our relationship. She kept things stable.
And then...
Yeah. Neostia came and attacked Elio. I rallied my forces at Central City and started setting up a defensive perimeter.
And I took my troops to go face him head-on. But he was way stronger than our intel reports had indicated to us. I quickly ordered a retreat, but my troops were driven back and scattered. Hibana and I were there, covering their retreat. I was so focused on the dolls units I was engaging that I didn't even notice Neostia had gone after her.
If I had stayed right next to her.
Or if I had listened to you and waited until all of our forces were deployed.
She even told me she had a bad feeling about the whole thing. You know how this story ends. We both clung to our own ideas and went our separate ways. We kept up our work in Elio and Stia, respectively. And that's how things were, until the three of you showed up.
You helped shake things up for us, so we could finally change. It was also a great chance to restore relationships with the regions we had lost contact with. And now we've all come together as one, to fight our common enemy.
So many things have changed since those days. We came here today to tell Hibana about all that's taken place. Yeah, that's true.
Attention all ARX defenders. We are beginning a large-scale operation in the Aleo region. We request the participation of all